Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Multiverse, This Week in Indies. Another year, another time. And we're at Studio 42, thanks to their good friends that Do You Validate. Go check them out when you get a chance because they're awesome. A lot of fun stuff that Joel does over there, and that's really cool. Of course, I'm Joe Compton, and I'm joined by the amazing
Bob Magoo.
Magoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everybody this morning? All right, I see Anita's here. Hi,
Yeah.
Anita. Nice to see you. Just say hello if you're around. I see some people jumping in here. So, all right. But yeah, we're live from Multiverse. Mess with this a little bit. So that people, well, I don't know. It's probably better to hide my face.
No.
But anyway, yeah, we're live, and we've had a really good weekend. How's it been for you, Bob? How you done?
It's been amazing. A little tired this morning, dragging a little bit. I'm not going to say that we stayed up late drinking. What I'm going to say is we did some strategic networking over a few drinks until dramatically early or late in the morning, depending on how you define it.
Look at it, yeah. With a few folks that you all might recognize from here, but yeah,
for sure.
And some folks we've been trying to coax to come here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
been amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's everything that last year was, but even more so.
Yeah.
The attendance is up.
Yeah.
A lot of folks that I always look forward to getting to hang out with are here. Like basically, it's the family reunion.
Yeah.
And I've got to hang out with. So far, I think I've got to hang out with everyone I wanted to hang out with.
Yeah.
There's probably one or two that slip through the cracks, but that's just because there's so many amazing people here. So yeah, no, it's been fantastic.
Hello, Ariel. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I was gonna wait for Vanessa just in case she popped in here because I wanted her to hear this part, but I'll repeat it and you'll just have to deal with it, live audience. But for me, this year, the difference being, I really think there's been some fresh perspectives on the panel tracks with new directors and directors who have finally set their feet down a little bit, and they've really come up with some really unique paneling. I've done 5 or 6 panels I've never done before this weekend.
I will readily acknowledge my bias because I'm sponsoring the play track. But the play track is really pushing the bounds of what you expect from a track like that at Con.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were on the poker.
No, I wasn't.
No, Charles was on the poker. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like they had a panel on poker,
Mm-hmm.
and like
I was supposed to be on that panel, but I got poached for another panel.
But that's not something you see. I never see that.
Mhm.
If it's a gaming centered track, it's always and it's mostly tabletop games. They're not talking about poker, things like that. And just some really cool panels. We did my favorite panel that we've done every year for like 4 years now, I think. The indie game jam, where we design a role-playing game in an hour.
Yeah, look for Slice of Multiverse to be coming to a Hit the Dice soon, everybody. And if you want to play, it's going to be a fun game. It's a creation of it's amalgamation of a pizza place being run by folks who have distinct advantages to go into other multiverses.
Yeah. And excitingly, it uses a domino mechanic. I've never designed a game with a domino mechanic, but it was really on brand. Please don't sue us. So it was so much fun. We had great crowd. That one is crowd interaction heavy, and it's neat because it's experienced game designers on one side of the table, but really the thrust of how what is going into the game comes from the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then we take their ideas and like, well, how could we actualize that?
Yeah.
And the best part, to me, the highlight of this panel every year is Reese, because they acknowledge at the start, like, I don't like tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
I don't like games like this. But I'm the voice of reason here to rein all of y'all in.
You need to make it simpler.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked so well. And they come in there where they're like, oh, I hate this stuff. But you see them get into it, and it's just, oh, it's such a good experience. Like, I will do that panel till I die. It's so good.
I enjoyed that panel. I was there for the entire panel. I was also there for the entire, most of, I'd say 95% of the Chuck Tingle panel, which this year the game was off the chain. It was amazing. I really felt like you all brought it this year, which it's the same crew, adding Charles McFall to the mix, but it's the same crew that did it last year. You had Ashley Chappell, you had Judy Black, you had Catherine Ellis, you had who am I forgetting?
Nicole,
Revis,
and me, and then
Sean
running it, with his usual mastery.
Chuck Tingle, come and see us.
it was so good, and the joke was when we were starting, like, well, last year we didn't even make it out of the parking lot. This year we made it to the road, so and did some damage. We did. For me, the highlight of that panel was we make characters during the live play, right? They're not pre-made characters.
Yeah.
So you don't, and Charles was sitting on the far end from me, and we're going through and like, I'm a this, I'm a this, I'm a this, and then like when we put it all together, he had recreated me as a Bigfoot.
So he was doing puns up left and right. If you know Bob, you know that he's a big punnery guy, and
And if you know Charles, he hates dad jokes. He hates them with a burning passion. But he was looking them up and doing them to mess with me. It was hilarious and amazing. He literally texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry if I went a little too far last night. I wasn't trying to like." And I messaged him like, "Dude, no, that was amazing. I've been talking to people about that nonstop. It was hilarious. So it was so good."
Yeah. How about sales this year? How's that been going for you?
So attendance. So it's a little weird for me this year because every year I've done sales at Multiverse. I didn't sell my first year, but every year since then I've been in Author's Alley. And last year, last year it took a hit. The attendance took a hit, and that just there's no way around it. That hurts sales. Now, I made money last year. I was very happy, and like. This is an event that if I lost money, I'm still going to come do it. This is my family reunion con. But I'm in the vendor hall this year because I'm a sponsor, and so I can say that sales are up for me. My Friday and Saturday total last year, I'm up on that. So we'll see how Sunday goes. I made most of my money on Sunday last year. If that holds true, I will handily beat what I did last year.
Nice.
And it's been different for me because this has been Meeks' first time at Multiverse.
Yep.
And so because I was sponsoring the play track and I knew I was going to be out of the booth a lot, he agreed to come in and run the booth. So he's actually outselling me right now. But the real that's been a delight. But me and Ben do events together all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited that he's here. That's great. But the real highlight has been Rob Grimoire. He stopped by the booth on Friday, and we're like, "Hey man, are you going to be selling any of your stuff?" He's like, "No. I mean, I brought some, but I've got them so I could sell them at the book signing that I'm doing." And we were like, "We've got like a little 1 foot space. Like we had a little space between my books and Ben's books that we were going to use for checkout." And we're like, "We've got this space. Why don't you set your books up here?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I couldn't." Because Rob is the most humble individual on the planet, and he's like, "No, I couldn't impose." Like, dude, it's not imposing. We love we love to mentor folks.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to come here. We will show you how to sell books. And he has sold every copy of Dark Spores that he brought. He was sold out of Dark Spores by around lunchtime yesterday. You know?
Yeah, and
that's been
there's
so
a good
awesome to see.
reason too. Bob did a panel in the horror track that Rob was also on, and they mentioned Dark Sports quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that sold a couple copies like immediately after the panel. Right?
Two different people left that panel, walked straight to the vendor hall, and did it. And so it was funny. They asked, the question was, what is a good horror novel that kind of has a bunch of like natural horror in it? And I knew that Rob was going to mention Dark Sports because he's in it. But the thing about it is if I'm on a panel and I recommend my book, it doesn't hold as much credence if someone else does.
Yeah.
So I was like, I went before him. I was like, he may be salty that I'm about to steal his answer, but it's for his own good. And so I was like, Dark Sports. Y'all need to go check out Dark Sports. One of the authors is on this panel, and talk it up because it's an amazing. It's a Chrome Girls release, so you know it's quality, and it's such a good release, and then he did use that to talk about a little bit, but it's like I've had so many people along my journey that have done that for me that have been like, ooh, at DragonCon, Rachel Brune on a panel that she's moderating, it's like, oh yeah, I go check out Bob's website all the time. Like, and y'all, if you're an author, you need to be doing that. Well, that was huge for me, right? So if you're an author that can do that for another author or another creative, do it every time. Like, if you can promote them so they don't have to self-promote, so it adds legitimacy to them, it's so huge.
Yeah, and it also goes to show that these panels are fruitful for you if you're selling in the weekend. I think I get it. You want to be in the vendor hall. You want to sell, right? You want to be there to sell, because if you're not there, you're not selling, unless somebody's there as a surrogate selling for you, which is fortunately that's your case this year.
Yeah.
And that might be a good reason why the sales are more consistent too. You know,
Yeah.
but it does help. The panels do help for new people because every year there's new people, and this year at Multiverse, the new to old ratio I think is probably 60-40.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that I've never paneled with that I've been paneling with, and that's great.
Yeah.
If you have now cons out there, I want to be your old head that everyone's sick of me.
Yeah.
But legitimately, having fresh faces on panels prevents everyone from hearing the same, 5 stories from Bob for year after year, So bringing in fresh faces is what keeps people coming back to a con. If Multiverse just had the same 80 panelists every year,
it would die quickly.
Yeah, because this is such a panel-focused con. Yeah. We talk about it in the vendor hall. You make sales in 30-minute bursts throughout the day because everyone is in the panel rooms.
Yeah,
panel attendance is so good here. There's only one other con I can think of that's even close to Multiverse, and that would be Conjuration. And even Multiverse is beyond that. Like, people come here for the panels. And so to the point where it's like you get an hour of twiddling your thumbs, looking around, like, oh, someone going to come into the vendor hall. Oh, there's a person. But then during that 30 minutes, you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing because during that hour, you can go grab a bite to eat, you can grab a snack, go up to the con suite. Can we talk about the con suite?
Yes, yeah, we can.
It's so good.
Yeah, Amy is outdone herself again. There's something magical about this con suite that is different. I've been to every con. I've been to every con suite that I've been to every con except for Dragon Con. I didn't know they had a con suite, which I found out this year. But you have to go to the bowels of hell apparently to get there.
Yeah, I've never been.
Wow, that says a lot. But Bob has been to about 20 Dragon Cons in his life, so.
Yeah, and I've never been to the con suite. Never once. Well, let's be real. I can afford to miss out on the con suite. I'm packing a couple extra pounds.
At Dragon Con, you get your steps in pretty quickly.
Oh,
too.
I do. Yeah. Do it. But the food, the restaurants there in that area. I mean, it's Atlanta. It's
downtown
culture.
Atlanta. So
yeah, I'm gonna find some calories along the way.
Plus, there's a lot of entertaining that goes on at Dragon Con that doesn't go on here. A lot of the entertaining is confined to the space that we're in, whereas Dragon Con it's multiple hotels, so there is a lot of push and pull, and then you're just meeting people for dinner and making dinner plans.
Yeah, but no, but even on the food thing here, like, so there's not a lot of food that's like walkable from here, but everything is so conveniently located. Like it's seriously like you just pull out of the parking lot. I mean, you could in theory walk it, but my fat self is not gonna. I ain't walking nowhere. And so, but there's so many restaurants right around here, and because this con isn't 70,000 people, you can actually get in and grab a bite, and actually enjoy it because you're not stressing. Oh my God, y'all have got to get me my food. I got to get to a panel, and that's something you run into at Dragon Con and some of these bigger cons where it's like, I've got 1 hour. If this place cannot get me my food, I'm going to have to walk out without it. And but here, like we've had a lot of delightful little jaunts for food.
Yeah, and so just to give kudos to Amy, she every year that we're here, I feel like everything's going to improve, and it's tenfold with the con suite this year. The con suite looks amazing. It is very easily accessed and very well done. Amy and Andrew Chuck deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
I also want to give credit to the hotel this year because I think they've made improvements based on our feedback that we gave the Multiverse chairs and the Multiverse folks, and Multiverse passed that along. And I believe this year they've made a lot of steps forward in improvements for like our meal was on Friday night. We didn't do Saturday night because we know how crazy Saturday night is, but Friday night we were able to get at least closer to what we expect when we're trying to get somewhere else, right?
And they did the abbreviated menu. Mm-hmm. They recognized like, hey, this is going to be a lot, mm-hmm. and they made steps to make it a lot. And breakfast was painless when we went and ate there. Like it was quick. We were in and out, and it was also I didn't feel like they were trying to rush me out. Mm-hmm. It's been a good experience eating on site for sure.
And the bar stayed open till 1 last night, which I was told that's not common for them. So we appreciate all that. Of course, that helps a con for sure because that is where all the action was. Last night was very happening in the bar area.
It really was. It really was. And most importantly, in the bar, you could watch the University of Alabama Roll Tide defeat those heathens north of us, Tennessee. And it really set a tone. Like a Multiverse is just better. Multiverse is always the third weekend in October.
It's nice to have a happy Bob for once on a Saturday night.
It sets a tone for the weekend. So that was a delight.
I was making an observation last night to Bob after the game because I don't dare do it during the game. I almost made a mistake of jinxing Bob.
So close.
But I made an observation every year that he and I have been together at Multiverse, Tennessee has beaten Alabama. So, and it's because of the Guinness we've decided. Yeah. And so we didn't drink Guinness last night and they won. So Modelo is going to be the drink of choice until they lose.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. But it was just a great. It's been a great atmosphere. Mm-hmm. A lot of new faces hanging out in the bar con. Got to hang out with some folks, talk with some folks that at length that I've not really got to hang out with. Yeah, and that's just always good. It's like I joke about strategic networking, but it really is. It's you're making connections here in a fun, welcoming environment that are going to benefit the rest of your career. Yeah. And no one's going in here thinking like, oh, well, I gotta. Well, some people maybe, but I'm not going into this like, oh, I gotta go. But if this person, you're just sitting there, you're having a drink, you find common interests, you talk, you debate, and then at the next time, hey, it's you, how's it been?
I have to say too. I did the meet track earlier this morning, and every time I do that track, I tend to find new connections with people, and I really appreciate that track for that because the panels you do make connections, but it's fleeting in a lot of respects because everybody's moving around and doing other things at that point. But the meet, you have to sit there and just talk to people for an hour, and I think that's a really good thing that this con does.
Yeah, it's such it's fairly unique, and. It would never have occurred to me, if I was setting up a con, but it's a testament to Jesse and Allison how much research is and how much thought they put into this con when they were setting it up. It's a meet track is absolutely something that every con should have. And
we're not talking about platters of meat. We're talking about people meeting each other.
Now to be clear, every con should have a smoked meats track. With some deli trays out. Maybe we have a panel discussion on types of barbecue. Debating regional differences.
That will go up in smoke very quickly.
Oh no, we're punning. We're punning early. I'll put that in the survey. Like we need a smoked meats track.
So this year too, I did a unique thing. Speaking of on the play track, I did a unique thing called a sports ball Q&A with some folks and it was a really good discussion. There was a lot of talk about SEC football in that discussion, and you've done a panel based off of that before. I think that should be the next evolution of the sports ball panel.
Yeah, I did a panel at another con about sorting SEC football teams into Harry Potter house. It was as glorious and ridiculous, but I was surprised. Like I had suggested that panel before to the con, and they were like, "Oh no," but I suggested next year, and I guess I don't know. They're like, "You know what? Let's throw them a pity panel," and but that panel was so well attended, and like I think that's something that tends to get overlooked.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, these conventions are nerd culture focused, but you have nerds like me that live and breathe Alabama football because we're right with the Lord. And so, but and I've seen an uptick in panels. I've been on a decent number here lately about religion, about the interplay of religions and things like that. Like there are interests that people have outside of nerd culture that appeal.
Yeah.
And so reaching those people, I think you find it's like, for example, on that panel I did, Tyra Burton, friend of ours, her husband Shane was on the panel with me. I don't think he'd done a panel before, but it's something. He goes to Dragon Con. He's generally into nerd culture, but he's very much more into sports culture, and so it engages them and gets them more invested in the convention overall. So then, when you have a couple that maybe one half doesn't care about they're just humoring their wife, but if you can give them something they can latch onto, they suddenly become invested, and then they're more apt to like, well, maybe I had fun on that panel. Maybe I'll check out some others.
Yeah, no, I agree. And speaking of which, I did 2 panels with Multiverse people on it that had never done panels before. Jesse Adams, who is a co-chair here, did his very first panel at his own convention.
Yeah.
And I was the moderator for that, so I was very honored about that. Yeah. And then I had Holly Hogan on the panel that I moderated yesterday. So
I had her. It was you had Holly first, and then I had her later. But let's give a shout out to Holly because she runs guest services. It is so smooth and easy to be a guest here. You get just this nice, tidy packet. It's got every bit of
everything all the time.
Your panel schedule's in there. It shows you, here's the menu for the con suite. Here's a map. Like there's so much good information in there that, and I imagine to a degree it's a little self-serving because Holly doesn't want to have to answer all these questions, but she does such a good job with that her job becomes, her job is very hard on the front end, and she stays busy, but she buys herself a lot of time by coming up with these like amazing packets, and she's so quick to respond to emails. Like if you're when panel assignments are going out, engaging with her there, they make it painless, absolutely painless to be a guest here.
So that being said, are you pretty confident you're going to sponsor the track again next year?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm very much. This is an experiment for me. I'm going to have to see at the end of the weekend, like where my numbers are, figure out how much I spent, like on my freebies that I gave away. And I think if I were to do it, if I do it again, I may look at sponsoring a different track. Next year, I'm going to have a lot of horror coming out. I may reach out and say, hey, does the horror track have a sponsor?
And maybe badly needs new posters.
So I would, reach out to. I may look at doing something like that because while I do love game design and I love Sean, Sean is one of my core people. The play track is my personal passion, but not really my brand passion. And so I end up doing a lot of panels on the play track, which I do dearly love. I've had a blast doing them, but for me, just as like me trying to build my brand over the years, I would rather do more panels on the horror track while still doing the Tingleverse, doing the game design jam, like picking the ones that I think that I bring something really to the table to, and then and that frees up a spot for some other more. Some of these I feel like they're better. A lot of times when it comes to games, they're better people.
Yeah.
But like if I'm on the right track, I feel pretty good on holding my own if we're talking like the business of writing and stuff like that. So like and that's actually my last panel of when we're done here. I'm going to go do a panel on selling at cons, and that's something where I feel like I'm in my wheelhouse. That I feel comfortable there. So getting me into positions where I feel like I might be a slightly better fit, and freeing up space for more up and coming, better game designers than me. That's their focus.
Yeah, what I think it does is it I don't know how much you've talked to people about what you're doing, but I think that it opens the eyes to other people. Hey, I can sponsor a track, and get Multiverse some more money for what they're doing.
Someone did actually ask me about a press that's here. Said, hey, how did that work? And they asked me questions, and I think they're looking at it. So,
nice. Awesome. That's an amazing thing. I just imagine when he said he was sponsoring the horror track that I'm going to be on a panel moderating with a Lake Placid fucking poster right behind my head. But
we'll do a panel on the supposed supernatural elements of the Lake Placid film franchise, and then the follow-up panel right after will be about Anaconda tie-ins to the Lake Placid franchise.
And he's gonna make me moderate, or him and Shell are gonna conspire to make me moderate, probably.
Yeah. I feel like that's the best thing I can do in my life is make you moderate a panel on Lake Placid. Oh, God, you will. We will walk out of that room and you're going to beat me with a sack of nickels, just bludgeon me. It'll be worth it.
Oh, well, on that note, let's jump into the Indie Connection, and then hopefully when we come back, Mr. Hillman will be here, and we'll have Sean here to talk a little bit more, and we'll wrap up and give you some insight into what's going on, and talk a little bit about some first things that I did this weekend too. So, all right, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, C.L. Kinnan here from Fiction Atlas Press, bringing you another Indie Connection. And today I'd like to tell you about some indie books that you might enjoy if you're a fan of All the Dead Lie Down by Kyrie McCauley.
The first book I have for you is called They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Monroe. If you can hear the call of the water, it's already far too late. After a bitter separation, Meredith Strand returns to the crumbling seaside cliffs of Cape Disappointment with her daughter in tow. They say the town is haunted, but to Meredith it seems more plagued by regret than any malevolent force. However, the waves crash louder than she remembers, and the stories her mother once whispered are harder to ignore. Something is watching. As her mother suffers from the early stages of Alzheimer's, and her daughter begins to change, Meredith is drawn into a haunting legacy that spans generations of women. If she isn't careful, all three women, bound by blood and heartbreak, will be lost one by one to the ocean's mournful call. The second book I have for you is called On Sundays She Picked Flowers by Yaya Schofield. When Judith Rice fled her childhood home, she thought she'd severed her abusive mother's hold on her. She didn't have a plan or destination, just a desperate need to escape. Drawn to the forest of southern Georgia, Jude finds shelter in a house as haunted by its violent history as she is by her own. Jude embraces the eccentricities of the dilapidated house, soothing its ghosts and haunts, honoring its blood-soaked land. And over the next 13 years, Jude blossoms from her bitter beginnings into a wise woman, a healer. But her hard-won peace is threatened when an enigmatic woman shows up on her doorstep. The woman is beautiful but unsettling, captivating but uncanny. Ensnared by her desire for the stranger, Jude is caught off guard by brutal urges suddenly simmering beneath her skin. As the woman stirs up memories of her escape years ago, Jude must confront the cause of violence rooted in her bloodline.
The third book I have for you is called Awake in the Night by Shauna McElhaney.
Jessica and Nicole think they finally found their dream house by the sea in the west of Ireland. 17 Montpelier Street has history, character, and so many rooms you could easily lose your way if you don't tread carefully. It has memories, too. So many memories. The new owners haven't learned them yet, but the girls who lived there decades before, when the church used Montpelier Street to hide away its secrets, they've never forgotten. The ones who survived, anyway. Montpelier Street remembers every one of the horrors these girls suffered at the hands of the priests, nuns, and doctors who should have been their carers. And Jess and Nicole, they're about to start reliving them night after night. Sleep may never come easily again.
And the last book I have for you is called Craven Manor by Darcy Coates.
Daniel is desperate for a fresh start, so when a mysterious figure slides a note under his door offering the position of groundskeeper at an ancient estate, he leaps at the chance, even though it seems too good to be true. Alarm bells start ringing when he arrives at Craven Manor. The abandoned mansion is straight out of those old Gothic mysteries. The front door hangs open, and leaves and cobwebs coat the marble foyer. It's clear no one has lived here in a long time. But he has nowhere else to go. Against his better judgment, he moves into the groundkeeper's cottage tucked away behind the old family crypt. But when a candle flickers to life in the abandoned tower window, Daniel realizes he isn't alone after all. Something awful happened here long ago, and it's a paranormal mystery Daniel is afraid to solve, because Craven Manor is hiding a terrible secret, one that threatens to bury him with it.
All right, that's all for me this week. I'll see you next week on the Indie Connection. Bye.
Oh, let's see if we can get everybody in here. There we go. Nice and cozy. SM Hillman, everybody.
Hello, I'm SM Hillman. You find me here, or
So how's it been going for you, Sean? How's the track gone and everything?
so very much thanks to Shakespeare. So I was fortunate enough to have great ADs. Jason, who runs the game, who runs the game room for me, and Bessie, who monitors the play track.
Mm-hmm.
And their input was fantastic. Obviously, with some changes this year, it's been more difficult to get around. So people have been fantastic about that. Thank you all so much for that. And being included, right? It's very easy to leave the guy with some mobility issues, like in a public space by himself, while you go up and have fun, and no one's done that to me. So that's amazing. I really loved it. But in general, I'm going to say that I think everything's been a very good success. In the game room, we've had the Charlotte Gamers. Jesse met with them, and then we've incorporated them into the game room, and they brought video games and wrote board games. And I think more than just any specific game, right? It's the presence of other things in the game room that a lot of people have expressed that the game room looks more active and alive.
Yeah.
It really. I mean, not that it was like a ghost town last year or anything, but like it's on a different level this year. I went in last night when they were setting up for Werewolf.
Yeah.
And there were so many people in there to play Werewolf. Yeah. And that was just so cool to see.
Right, and so that's one of our attendees who's been with us from the beginning at Victoria, and they've been with us from the beginning. And
that was a big circle she had going.
Yes, it was. and there's going to be love letter later if you're at Multiverse. They're doing love letter today, or they're doing love letter right now.
Yeah.
So you'll expect more of that next year.
A funny story about Victoria, and it's not putting her in a bad light at all, to be clear. She came up to my booth and like fell on the ground like she was dead, and looked up at me. Does that count? And I was like, for what? Like, count for what? And she's like, the con game. I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't know that my booth is part of the con game, that you come up and play possum at my booth, and I sign it, and I was like, what is this person doing laying in front of my booth? Like, what is happening right now? Like, am I about to get sued? What is going on?
We should explain the con game. I think we've done that before here, but basically what the con game is it's a program that has a bunch of quests and side quests on it that you have to get certain things done, and then have the person who you've done it for sign a little square, and the one who fills it out the most, or they do a drawing or something, wins a membership or a free membership for next year, and then there's a couple other prizes that they give out too.
And it's designed to get people to
Interact.
make sure, that they interact with people, that they interact with all the spaces that the con has to offer, that they go to the game room
And celebrate the sponsors and the
Yeah.
people who put this thing together.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's evolved over the years, but I think it's in a really good spot.
Mhm.
Play track itself has been really successful this year. I mean, when you're the niche tracks, so like at Jordan Con for a while, science fiction was a niche track because that's a fantasy convention, very much a fantasy convention. But a play track where we're actually talking about games or the business of games or the social aspects of games can be neat, very niche in its own way. So you get 3 or 4 people and you think, oh, just 3 or 4. But no, we got 3 or 4 people in this panel, or in the audience. That's a good thing. And we've done, many of our panels have done better than that. So it's an evolution, but I think it's been really strong this year.
And we talked about earlier about how the program you've generated is kind of breaking ground in this space, like the poker.
Right.
Like you don't see other tracks that are doing like it's very much so much the nerd culture side of gaming. But there's a whole world of gaming that's not specifically nerd culture based.
Right.
So.
Right. I mean, we're gonna probably, this is a bit of a spoiler. I'm probably gonna have a bridge panel next year because I'm fascinated by bridge, although I'm not a bridge player.
You gotta do spades too.
You don't think it's a bridge too far?
Oh, you gotta do spades too then.
Well, I'll have to ask my British my British viewers.
Yeah.
The one thing about the play track I think that's really unique to it in terms of it's the most multiverse of all the multiverse tracks because it is the most interactive aspect. Like I did the World of Warcraft panel. Why Sean had the foresight to put me there and have me, a guy who has never opened a World of Warcraft document or touched a piece of memorabilia or anything on it. First off, I'm honored that I get the opportunity to learn new stuff and learn from new people, but I quickly saw why, because all I had to do was find a trigger word, and once I triggered the audience, it was a conversation that happened amongst the audience and the panel. The audience was really the panelist at that point, and for the next 45 minutes, I said nothing. I loved it.
Sometimes you do want, like for a complex topic, you want the moderator to also be an expert in the subject.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you don't want the moderator to be an expert because you want them to be asking the questions that the attendees are going to want to hear, So like, I like that, not every moderator, I can't remember what, at DragonCon, it was at DragonCon, it was about, on the digital media track about building a podcast network. And I was the moderator on that. And I was like, I'm just so excited because y'all are experts and I have y'all have to answer my questions for the next 45 minutes. And so I'm by no means an expert in that space, but I knew just enough that I could ask them questions, but really it was, man, I don't know anything about this really. Like, tell me what I need to be doing, So I like that.
Well, and I knew Joe would do a good job of doing some research and giving questions, right? He would just like blow it off. Exactly that was my thinking, right? It's like, here's someone who may not be a wow head. Whereas,
is that what they call them? Wow heads?
Yeah, sometimes. Whereas, like, if I moderated it, I don't think that, like, if someone's new to the game, they don't get anything. They don't really get anything out of it. When people who are immersed in it are sometimes talking. I know for me, it's like I'll listen for, this game is great, and then they'll do their thing, and I'm just like, I'm not. How do I get in? Is it very intimidating? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciated it. I liked that. I got an opportunity to just basically sit and listen to people talk about what they're passionate about, and that's the coolest thing about it is like watching their passion come full circle for them, and that warms my heart because that's what we try to do here. So.
And to a certain degree, WoW is sort of multiversal because the Blizzard people put in Easter eggs from all sorts of different genres and idioms and IPs, right? But at the same time, you also have zones and things that they're not, it's not just fantasy. It deals with sci-fi though, but there are horror zones for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of a microcosm of what we do.
Yeah. So I experienced a couple firsts here at Multiverse this year. I wanted to wait till Sean got here because he experienced them with me. He was there. I cosplayed for the first time and I sung karaoke. Luckily, I had an incredible partner in Sarah J. Silver. Sarah, I could not thank you more. I thanked her a lot last night, but we'll get and do it live here on the air. Sarah was amazing, and we paid tribute to Ozzy Osbourne and did "Close My Eyes Forever" with Ozzy and Lita duet. And I've been hearing a couple people come up to me and go, that was really fun. You did a really good job, and people were like, you looked great. And I mean, everybody's commented on Facebook when I posted the picture and everything, and I really appreciate all that. I was nervous as all get out. I haven't been that nervous in a long time, and so it's always good to bring that part of me out a little bit. But
you're the only person that I saw that cosplayed specifically for karaoke.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool.
I thought that was
that was very cool. Like there were people there in cosplay, but it was the cosplay they'd been wearing all day. And you cosplay, you knew what you wanted. Like that was super cool. That was super cool.
Well, you got to give credit to Ashley and Judy then because they cosplayed for the whatchamacallit, Chuck Tinkle thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Several of them cosplayed for Chuck Tinkle.
Yeah, I actually gave Ray shit because she didn't have her onesie on this year.
Yeah, for sure. But no, we had Catherine Barsoon was kangaroo.
Buckaroo.
Was a buckaroo.
Was a kangaroo buckaroo.
And she kept the accent as much as she could possibly keep.
Yeah, she stayed in character the whole time.
Not serious all the way.
Yeah.
And Judy Black had on her Black Bunny.
A real Hillman.
A real Hillman.
A real Hillman.
Evil.
Who's actually boss man in disguise.
Who I talked to afterwards. I said she did a really good job. She goes, "Oh, I love being evil." She's like, she doesn't get to be evil very often. So
yeah.
If you've never experienced Judy Black doing an RPG like in person, it's amazing. It's amazing. Not only is she a fantastic player and very easy to GM, but her characters are just amazingly funny, right? And I can't say enough about you.
I had the privilege of she GM'd a charity RPG session at JordanCon. It was me and Hartness were on there, and she just rolls with the punches so well. You get like people like me and Hartness on an RPG live play, and you just know instantly it's going to go sideways. And she was unflappable. Possums were everywhere. It was glorious. It was glorious.
Absolutely.
I'm paraphrasing, but what they did descriptions when they set up their characters, and her thing with the eyes is get your eyes off of me. That was the color of her eyes.
Her eye color was don't look.
Yeah. Look right at me.
Yeah, don't look. Don't look. It's so good.
Yeah, clever shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And Chuck Tinkle was good, but we are going to make some changes to it next year to make it a little bit quicker to get into. I feel like we've been threatening to do that for a few years now, but we're going to do it.
Yeah, but there's a charming madness to the way it's done now.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to promise that we're going to get any further in any particular story that we bring to Chuck Tinkle. I'm just saying we'll get into it.
We made it to the road this time.
We did make it to the road.
We made it 5 steps farther than we did last year. So.
baby steps, right? Baby
Yeah.
steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And you know, the cool thing about Chuck Tingle this year that I think was different from past years is you had a small crowd, but they stayed the entire
They
fucking
did.
time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was there for the majority. I was the only one walking in and out
Yeah.
like an asshole. But everybody else was there for the entirety.
They all moved to the very front row.
Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah, and they were in it. They were engaged.
So I think because this is before I was on Go Indie, but the first year for Chuck Jingles, there were a couple of kids who came, and very quickly, like the one, like mom and daughter, very quickly exited. I think probably that year, Natalie Rogers is an artist who isn't here this year, but you might know who she is. Played a rap, but a bird raptor, right, with a and snap off Poeta, and that's kind of what that was.
It's
Sort of,
it's at the tone.
yeah, it sets the tone. So that kind of like was when people started to leave, but then other people stayed. So,
Yeah.
So, it wasn't as like raunchy this year, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be,
it was clever though. I
It
mean,
was clever.
everybody on there was very sharp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. And
Lots of
Charles was there this
Yeah.
first year, and he's perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited because I don't think he's ever done a live. I think this might have been his first live play.
Okay.
And at Conjuration, he is signed. I'm doing 2 live plays there, and he signed on. He signed on to play Cryptid Capture Core live play
Nice.
at Conjuration. So
We'll see how that
you'll
goes.
see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Very.
So because he did, like I said, I think that was his first live play. He doesn't really play tabletop role playing games. Like he's more of a different
gamer.
video gamer.
Yeah.
And I mean, he took to it like the fish to water.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, there is some. I feel like with the live plays, traditionally, if you look at Critical Role in particular, there is some of that vibe, that video game vibe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Back.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah. One thing that was exciting from one of the panels, I think it was Judy. She's like, we should do a Quiet Year live play, and that's something that we had talked about doing.
Yeah.
And so, but that was not like prompted by me or anything. She was like, oh, we should look at doing it. I was like, we've talked about doing that. So it's not just me and you being off in a corner being like, oh, I think this could work. Like someone reputable, like Judy is like, oh, we should do this.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'll reach out and yeah, we can definitely do a live play of the Quiet Year.
Yeah, got some logistics to work out, but yeah, we can.
It's so funny that happened because that happened at the film meet today too, where we were talking about we should do a film festival or we should do a film discussion course, on each meet track, where we play a sci-fi movie and then have a panel discussion after it. And those are things that Jesse and I have actually spoken to in private several times about, and it's Jesse's wish to that's the one place he wants to expand into, because he's a big film guy. So I think that's awesome. These things that other people are recognizing that and seeing, and great minds think alike. Kind of, it just reaffirms why, if you're here, it's a special place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's been so good. It's been so good. I got one panel left, and then I'm gonna go sell every book, all my books, all Rob's books. I'm gonna sell all Ben's books. Ben's been selling pens too. He doesn't need to sell all his books. He's been selling fancy, nice pens like he does. But me and Rob and Bob, we're gonna sell all our books. So
we went to a restaurant last night, which will remain nameless because it's shameful. Well, I guess it's not that shameful, is it?
No.
We went to the Arby's last night, and the thing that we recognized was all four of us had 3-letter names, which was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
When you could ask for a name, it was Bob, Joe, Ben, and Rob.
Also,
stupid shit like that happens all the time.
I'm going to throw this out to the audience. Did you know that Arby's gets its name because it's roast beef? Arby's.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I heard that.
Yeah, and so that's the thing.
I learned that yesterday.
That's the thing. Like, I learned that when I was like 33. And then like I went around telling everyone, and everyone treated me like I was so dumb. Like, yeah, everyone knows that. And so last night I was like, did y'all know that? And everyone's like, no, we've never heard of that. I was like, I knew it. I knew it's not as common knowledge as everyone makes it out to be. So anyway, there's your bit of trivia for the day.
I'm waiting for the chat to chime in here.
And they're going to be like, Bob is so wrong. That is not why it's called that. He's such an idiot.
The guy's name was John Arby.
Yeah.
The first one,
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
He's a stuntman for
John Wayne.
John Wayne, or
He was a true buckaroo.
he was a true buckaroo.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah. John Arby was a true buckaroo.
Yeah.
Anything you want to preview for us for next year that you know of that's going to be different, or?
So Friday nights we've been doing like a cyberpunk thing, and I think that it didn't really pan out the last few years, which is fine, right? I'm a cyberpunk guy, and I'm living a cyberpunk life now. But and Bob is going to love this.
There you go. A.F. Stewart agrees. She had no idea.
There we go. There we go. Thank you, Anita.
We did not try to steak nuggets. They were very prominent.
They looked so good. They were a little
They
pricey.
did not look good to me. They looked very like burnt.
Well,
Yeah.
I like a little chart.
I do too.
You also missed us discuss that we think that the con needs a smoked meat track on top of the meat track. So I'm gonna pitch it to Jesse and Allison later.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
We do need to smoke it.
yeah.
So next year we are our Friday night, and hopefully for many years after, as soon as it's successful, we are going to do Taskmaster Multiverse style. If you're not familiar with Taskmaster, it's on YouTube, go watch it. So we're going to do as much of not a parody. I mean, it's already a funny show, right? So we're not going to do a parody of Taskmaster. We're going to do Taskmaster.
Yeah. Nice.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we're going to get some. Hopefully, we can convince 1 or 2 guests, or 4 guests, or 5 guests to be on that.
Yeah. No. I am all in. I am all in. And actually, I've seen
Ariel's excited too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've seen another con. The Brit track at Dragon Con has done it, and how they do it is the guests, like they get 5 guests to provide the prize, and then they let the people in the audience compete. Like, so they do live tasks, and there's lots of stuff we can do with this. You know?
But, and we don't want to, we're not going to step on the bedtime stories toes too much with participation like that. So I think we're going to stick to guests, but it's the full thing. The guests will have to bring the prize, and the guests will have to film one task prior to coming to Multiverse, and then we'll get the final tests.
All in.
Yeah.
Taskmaster Alex Horn. Is that what we're?
I'd be honored. Except I don't want to fly to somebody's house to so that they be there for their task.
No, that's okay. We'll send them an envelope.
Yeah, you'd look dashing in a clipboard.
I would be honored to play Alex Horn. That would be something I would be real excited about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's good. That's good. I'm all in. I'm all in.
And changes to the actual system we use for Tickle.
Yeah. I don't know of anything else that's happening. We haven't had the closing ceremonies. I think there will be a couple things that always get announced during that time period. But if you haven't been to Multiverse before, I do know that tickets go on sale tomorrow for the new year, and it will be the cheapest you could possibly get it. So if you want to be here next year, it will be the third weekend in October. I don't know what that is. I think it's 16th through the 18th or something like that next year. And you'll be able to do that and get tickets and come and join us. And I think I was saying earlier, I believe it's probably about 60-40 new people to returning this year. And
a lot of new people.
I think that this year was a vast improvement from last year, even though last year was really good. This was an incredible accomplishment as things go on. So the more people we get here, the more people we rope into our little family, the better it becomes. And that's what we're all hoping for.
Can I rip one more thing?
Please.
So I forgot to mention that one of the other things we have this year is a local game store, Discover Games, who set up their booth right outside of the game room. And I think that had an impact of bringing people in. So thank you, Charlotte Gamers. Thank you, Discover Games.
I think the home runner guys had a good impact too.
Yes, right. Yeah, home runner guys.
I have
brothers. Thank you guys so much.
We have confirmation the chief is not dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not dead.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna take off because Bob's got to get to a panel. And thank you so much for being here with us. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll see you back doing the regular thing next week. And we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. And there we go. We got our troll. So we're good to go.
There we go.
So Bob, do you want to take us out?
Just remember, it's always time to go indie now.
I fucked that up.
Oh, I can't hold this finger for long.